Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. So we got breaking news. Washington Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin is not reporting to the Washington Commanders training camp. Not surprising at all, but it is significant. It adds another piece to this story, another piece of this development. It's not good news, obviously, that Terry McLaurin's not reporting to the Washington Commanders training camp. It is what it is, but let's go ahead and talk about it in today's video/stream for everyone that's watching live or watching back on the replay. So we're going to go over some of this stuff right now for you guys, just going over some of the information that did just come out from Adam Schefter and a bunch of other sources. So let me get into it right here. And yeah, this is not surprising. And there was some stuff that was reported today about Terry and this whole situation that I don't know makes me frustrated. That, and we'll get into it, but it looks like the Commanders are offering about a little bit over of what his current salary is, which is like 23 million. For me, that's a little bit ridiculous. But let's get into it. So yeah, basically, this is from Adam Schefter. I'll go ahead and pull up the tweet right here just so you guys can see it. Good visual for the stream as well. But yeah, Terry McLaurin, that's the big news from today, is that he is not reporting or did not report to Washington Commanders training camp. So let's go ahead, pull that up so you guys can see. So Terry McLaurin is seeking a new contract, did not report training camp today per source. McLaurin was not present for the Commanders' conditioning test today that marked an unofficial start of training camp. All other players are present and accounted for, just not McLaurin. So all Commanders players are there. That is expected. I mean, it's very rare, very, very rare for players not to go to training camp. And now you have Terry McLaurin, who is not there. And, he's holding out. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Would you love him to be there? Of course, despite the contract situation. But I do understand why he's not there. What's up, Gregory? Do you real possibility think he could get traded out of town? No, he's not going to get traded. There might be some talk of he's going to request a trade or whatever. But I don't think anything like that is going to happen. I think, he'll be a Washington Commander. He'll be a Washington Commander, but, it's not looking amazing right now. And I know I know that people are going to freak out. I get it. But, at this point, there's nothing as fans we can do except for wait and see what happens with this whole situation. Right now, yeah, I agree. It's not good news. Terry is, not going to be there for the first. He might not be there until he gets a new deal. And right now, he's going to be fined $50,000 a day. So he's taking a hit. Every practice he's not there. I mean, what is that? 4 or 5 a week. That's like $250K a week. I mean, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money that will build up over a month or two. So, Terry is definitely taking a little bit of a financial hit. And yeah, we're just gonna have to, see if he's able to, maybe lower his price a little bit because he wants 30 plus million, which I think is reasonable. But the team is not looking for that. They're looking for like 25, 26. And I think this could all have been avoided if they would have done it earlier. I really do. But it is what it is. Big E says so. Offseason move with wide receiver that are there. Terry and his feelings still have a year left. I mean, yeah, but this is standard. This is standard because a lot of players do this the year. Especially star players, the year before a deal, they try to get a deal done so that it's not an issue during the season and next offseason. I get what you're talking about. I do. I get that you're like, what, he's under contract. He should, not complain and be here. But at the same time, with everything he's done for this franchise, I think it's reasonable for him to expect, to be valued and to get the money he deserves and to get it done now instead of getting it done next offseason. And spoiler alert, you wait next offseason, it's going to be a lot of money too. The price ain't going down. The price is going to, continue to go up. And that's what's happened. The price has gone up every week, every few weeks, every time a new receiver gets a deal and increases that market a little bit. So I don't understand the philosophy here by Adam Peters and company. Yes, I get that they don't want to, pay him 30, 34, 35 million, but I hate to break it to you, that's what he's worth at this point because, he's a good player and everything, but he also waited a long time. And you waiting a long time allowed this to escalate the way it did. And it's like I said, it's not going to get lower. Like, I don't know, maybe they think Terry's going to cave and he's going to accept a little bit less. And at that point, maybe, that's Adam Peters' game plan, his MO is just wait and see if, Terry brings it down. I trust Adam Peters. He's done a really good job with everything else. And maybe with this too. It's just, again, I think if they could have done this earlier, would have saved a lot of money because I don't know if he goes into free agency next year, it's still going to be 30 plus $1 million. Like, I just don't know what they're waiting for, maybe to get a lower price, but I really don't think that's the way it works. I think it's very hard for prices to go down. Um, Kime says he finds 50K per day for holding out. He made it clear last week he wanted to see progression towards a deal before returning to the field. Adam Peters said earlier today that talks continue. Adam Peters, to be honest, said a whole lot of nothing, which makes sense. He's a GM. He doesn't want to, leak information. He doesn't want to, speak through the media most of the time. So makes sense. It does make sense. And yeah, this was the exact quote from, Terry McLaurin last week talking about without any progressive discussions, it's kind of hard to see how I step on the field. I don't know when that holdout would end. If maybe, it goes in, I don't see Terry missing games. I really don't. And also, I don't see the Commanders letting it get to that point. But I also didn't think they would let it get to this point. You know, that's just me. They're going to have to deal with the fines too. I don't know how much, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if, they'll waive the fines. This is kind of, from what I thought you could waive the fines, but then on Kime's podcast yesterday, he said they can't. Also, one thing to keep in mind, it's not the 49ers and, Adam Peters is running his own show, but a lot of, their deals were later deals. So Brandon Ayuk was late, I think it was in September or late August. Nick Bosa, same thing. So just because a deal hasn't happened, doesn't mean it's never going to happen. A deal could still happen. 25 mil a year is confirmed, or you're just tossing out random numbers. In terms of what they've offered, nothing's confirmed in terms of what they've offered. It's just reports that, from Jeremy Fowler, ESPN reporter, saying that they're offering him slightly more than his AAV is now, which is around 23 point something. So just guessing there is around 25 is what they're offering him. Like I said, it's a guess. It's not an official number, but, just something to think about, that for me, that's crazy. For me, that's crazy. Kime says some players might not handle a holdout well in terms of conditioning. Mclaurin is one who will. He's got a good rapport. Jane Daniels, that part won't be an issue. I mean, whatever, Kime can cope and whatever and say it's not a big deal. The problem is it's the second year in, a new offense from last year was a new offense. And, they're still adjusting. And there's a new receiver, Deebo Samuel. There's a new offensive lineman, Larry Tunsil. There's another new offensive lineman in Josh Connerly. There's another probable offensive lineman that's going to be there, whether it's, Nate Herbig or, someone else with what's his name, Sam Cosmi being out with an injury. So it does matter, in my opinion. And Deebo Samuel, if I didn't say his name. So I think the chemistry matters, and I think holding out, does matter. And if it's a few days, if it's a week, whatever. But if it starts to get in 2-3 weeks and he's missing all that time, again, that is a big deal. And I don't think it should be, glossed over saying, oh, he's a veteran and he's going to handle it well. Yeah, he might handle it well individually and he might get in shape, but, you have a full off season. He didn't participate in the mandatory stuff later on and some of the voluntary stuff. So, I mean, that's what, 2, 3 months without your, best offensive player besides Jaden Daniels practicing with you. So that definitely has an impact. So you're just going to throw him back in there and expect it to be the same with, guys that, aren't used to playing next to him. So I don't think it's a nothing burger. Is it the, end of the world? No, not at all. But it's not nothing. It's not something that you're just like, oh, it doesn't matter at all. No, I think it does matter. I do think it matters. Just reading over some other stuff here. Any other things that we see, but really nothing crazy. Voice crack there. 47 days away from football. Chris Cooley there got his number days away. And yeah, any other things? If you guys have any questions, let me know. But yeah, this is disappointing. It sucks that we've gotten to this point. What's up, Marin C? What's up, Joe? Bring It says, I trust Adam Peters will do what's best for the team. I agree. I think he'll do what's best for the team. Again, though, I don't know, man. I don't know if we're going to be able to get this done soon. So it is what it is. At this point, I don't know if I have a prediction. I thought I said Samuel. Maybe I said Samuels, but I don't know. I'll go back and replay it. Pretty sure I said Debo Samuel, though. Um, but yeah, Debo will have to acclimate to, when Terry comes back. So this is a message that Terry is sending, and hopefully this is, speeds the process up. Hopefully it speeds it up and they're able to, get this down and, you know, get a contract done within the next week. I am not predicting that at this point. You know, it has not progressed at all. And if the report today from Jeremy Fowler that they are offering him slightly above what he's making right now, if that is true, I don't blame Terry. I don't blame Terry for how mad he is. I don't at all. I would be mad too if, I just had the best year of my career and you're not, offering me a contract increase. I would be mad too. Also, guys, got 75 people in here. Everyone hit that like button. Everyone hit that like button. We got 18 likes. Let's get to 30 likes easy. Hit that like button, the notification bell as well. Subscribe, donate if you can, become a channel member. All those things help. But the most important thing is you being here, watching and commenting. But comment down below your prediction for a Terry McLaurin contract. At this point, I don't think it's going to be as much as maybe we thought because they are very far away. I think Terry at this point would accept a little bit lower. Maybe he would accept $30 million instead of the 32, 33 plus that he wanted. So a 3-year, $90 million extension, I think is more than reasonable for the Commanders to pay. That is not an insane amount of money. It is a lot, but it's not an overpay considering DK Metcalf is making $33 million. That's why I'm not tripping over this number of 30 million, 31, even 33, because DK Metcalf, who in my opinion is worse than Terry. Yes, DK is a little bit younger. I think 2 years younger, but that's not a huge deal. Come on. Pay the man the money he deserves. He deserves to get that money. And again, I've mentioned this. The longer you wait, the more you're going to have to pay. If they did this 3 months ago, I'm almost certain that they would have been able to, come to terms on a deal. But they didn't. And, it is what it is. It is what it is. I think, sorry, I think they could have offered him, $28 million earlier on in the offseason. He would have took it. But now things have changed. First off, it looks like that's not what they offered him. And also the price has increased. When Jamar Chase gets paid $40 million, things change for the receivers. Not necessarily, obviously Terry's not getting 40 million and he's not Jamar Chase, but that increases the price a little bit. DK Metcalf getting $33 million a year. Garrett Wilson getting about $33 million a year. T. Higgins getting a lot of money. Like, that changes things a lot. And you're waiting and waiting and waiting. And you're just trying to see if Terry goes down on that price. But, as you're doing that, the price goes up of how much he's asking for and how much he's worth. And not only that, but you're adding more and more drama to this whole situation. And Terry's not blameless in this. You would like for your team captain and everything to be there for training camp. Again, I don't I I mean, I guess I just said he's not blameless. I don't think it's the end of the world that he's not there, and I get why he's not there. But, also it would be good if he would be there, despite the contract situation. Some people said 20, someone said 20 a year for 6 years. It's not going to happen. 3 years, 90 million, could. Dave says no more than 26 mil. With 3 preseason games, if he's not there by the 3rd preseason game, are you worried? Of course I'm worried. I don't care at all if he plays during the preseason. That doesn't matter. Him playing in the preseason or not. Honestly, I'd rather him not play in the preseason game. Just, play on those joint practices. But if he's not signed by that, that's when it's an issue. I got 100 people in here. Hit that like button. Let's get to 50 likes. We're 9 likes away. But yeah, this Terry McLaurin situation, in my opinion, has gotten a little ridiculous. It's not gotten to that full point on yet. I think if you get to the point where Terry McLaurin is requesting a trade, that is when it gets a little bit ridiculous on both sides, because Terry shouldn't be requesting a trade, but also at that same point, it's a little bit of a negotiation tactic. But also, you wish that your team wouldn't let it get to that point. But again, I understand both sides. Adam Peters doesn't want to overpay, and he wants, Terry's a little bit older, so doesn't want to give him like a super long-term deal. And Terry wants to get the money he's worth. And I'm definitely more on Terry's side, because if they're offering him like 24, 25-ish million, which is ish, that's what was reported, then I get why he's frustrated, because he deserves a lot more money than that. Maybe you don't think so, but just looking at the market, that's what he deserves. I mean, let me look up DK Metcalf stats. DK Metcalf is 27 years old. Terry McLaurin, 29. So there is an age difference, but it's not a major age difference. So DK Metcalf, since he's been in the league, 2024, 992 yards. The year before, 5 touchdowns. The year before, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. The year before, 1,006 touchdowns. The year before, 912. His best year, which now we are 5 years removed from, was 2020, where he had 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. That's a season Terry's never had, but also Terry has had one season of good quarterback play, and he had over 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns, had a really good season. And he's had, that was a better season than DK's had since that 2020 season. And that's not even accounting for Terry's leadership and everything that he brings to the table. Terry is a great leader, great person, great teammate, all of that. So that is something to think about as well. You don't understand this is a business, and Terry age and money he wants. I mean, I understand it's a business, but I also understand what Terry's worth, and he's worth more than what they're offering him. Maybe he's asking for too much. Maybe he's asking for $35 million a year. I don't think so, but that's definitely a possibility. But the trade talks, I don't really want to get into it. If you want to give a prediction, go ahead. But trades, we're not getting into that. I don't want to even speak that into into existence, because Terry's here to stay. It might not look like it right now, but I think it'll happen, and we'll be good to go. So I think it'll all be fine. We're three likes away from 50. Let's get that. Big T says Pats want him. I mean, yeah, Pats need a receiver. It would make sense. The Mariners are being so cheap. We have a lot of cap space, especially with Jaden on his rookie deal. Not the worst thing to overpay him. I agree. And the man went through so much here through 6 years. I mean, give him money he deserves. And Terry does have leverage. Like, you're not winning like, I'm not saying we're gonna win a Super Bowl this year, but you're definitely not gonna win a Super Bowl without Terry McLaurin. You're not winning a Super Bowl without Terry McLaurin this year. I'm sorry. Your receiving core is not good at all if you don't have Terry McLaurin. It's Debo Samuel, Noah Brown, Luke McCaffrey. Like, it's just not a good receiving core. It's not. So they have the leverage there. And it's not like there's these great receivers available in free agency. No. I mean, you got Amari Cooper, DJ Chark. Like, let's get serious here. Like, there's not a lot of guys available and not a lot of guys available via trade. I mean, yeah, I just don't know any. Yeah, I just don't know. Maybe you guys can educate me, not him, educate me on guys that are available. But yeah, I just don't agree with this whole process. But hey, if it ends up happening in a couple weeks and the deal gets done, both sides are happy, and we get a good deal, then it all works out, and they're happy. It all works out. Terry's happy, Adam Peters is happy, and the fan base is happy. They'll let bygones be bygones, and it's all the part of the process. They know it's a business. They know it's a business at the end of the day, and as long as each side doesn't get too disrespectful, then I think we'll be fine. Doug, I can talk about that at the end of the stream for sure. But appreciate you pulling up. Again, all y'all, please hit that like button. Do all that good stuff. It helps out the channel a lot, guys. You don't know. But let's see. Any other stuff? I'm waiting on some of the other stuff in terms of, pup lists and stuff like that. I literally was in the middle of recording a video about Sam Cosmi. I'll make that video. Maybe I'll post it later or something. But they did get some good news on Sam Cosmi today and his recovery. So I was really excited about that. And then right as that's happening, I get the notification that Terry McLaurin is not reporting. So it is what it is. Are you surprised he skipped training camp today? Not really. Not really. The way things were going, it was kind of trending in that, it was trending in that direction. But still, in the back of my mind, I was hoping that, a deal would get done. That's kind of my mindset. I was optimistic, but at the same time, realistically, I was I was more leaning on the side of no. 2-3 weeks ago, you asked me, my answer is different. My answer would have been different. Can't pay Terry if JD5 wants paying. Not viable when JD5 still wants big bucks in 3 years. That I don't agree, Big T. I think that they'll be able to pay Terry fine, both of them fine. First off, JD5 is under contract for 4 more years. Actually, yeah, it doesn't affect it at all. Terry McLaurin is under contract for this year, so 2025. Jaden is under contract for 2025, 2026, 2027, if they pick up the option, which they will, 2028. So if Terry got extended by 3 years, it would line up perfectly with the rookie deal. So don't agree with that. Even if it was a 4-year extension, they would be able to make it work. Doug says, what was your first year watching the Redskins? Consistently 2012, but I was watching, was very young, but like 2010, 2011 was watching as well. So, but consistently was 2012. Let's go over some other news. And again, any more news that comes out, don't worry. Like, if you guys are in the stream, you guys are going to hear about it. This today and tomorrow are the biggest days to be locked in, because today you're hearing about some of the injuries and, maybe not all the injuries, but you're hearing about some of the health on the players and the Terry McLaurin stuff. Tomorrow, you get to see these players back in action. And then also, you're going to be able to see if Terry's, I thought it was going to be tomorrow, but if Terry's going to be there, which players are looking good, and then just answers on Terry McLaurin. Got over 100 people in here. if you guys haven't subscribed, just hit that subscribe button. I got, post Commanders content every single day, a bunch of different stuff. So stay, just subscribe and hit that like button. It's free. Takes 1 second. Got 61 likes. Let's get to 70. Let's get to 80. Again, it takes 1 second to do that. JD5 is an extension eligible until I think after his third season. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it still doesn't affect the Terry McLaurin deal. It doesn't. So, they can extend Terry. I mean, unless it's like a 5-year extension, which with his, age and all of that, I don't think they would extend him 5 years. He would be under contract for 6 years. I think it would be more of a 3-year deal. He's, if you guys are new coming in here, he is subject to fines, 50K a day. So that's something to consider consider as well if they do want to, you know, if they want to, waive it. I don't know if they can, but 50K a day is a lot of money. I mean, if there's 5 practices a week, that's 250K a week. That's $1 million in a month. I know Terry's not trying to lose all that money. Let's see. Big T says JD5 won't wait out, brother. He was paying before that. Like Eli said, it's gonna be a little minute before he's able to get a contract extension. How do you feel about the Patriots executives meeting with GM Adam Peters about a possible megatrade? Hey, I don't even want to talk about that, David. I want Terry McLaurin here, man. I want Terry McLaurin here, and I don't want him to go anywhere else. If he requests a trade, then we can talk about it. Eli says 1 million isn't that much for Terry. Dude, it's still a lot. I mean, he's making 23-ish a year. I mean, yeah, he has a lot of money, but hey, you take 1/20th of my paycheck for the year. I mean, that I wouldn't be happy about it. Yeah, I get it. He has a lot of money and he's straight, but a $1 million fine is still a lot. What up, Pedro? What's up, Vance? My guy, been rocking with the channel for a long time. You think Josh Harris is reaching boiling point with the RFK DC Council? Yeah, I mean that. I definitely agree. I definitely believe that's getting to the point of he just wants to get it done, and there keeps being more and more drama with whether the deal is going to get done, and then the president putting pressure on him to change the name back. So a lot of different things going on, but we are just going to have to wait and see what happens there. Just like we're going to have to wait and see with Terry McLaurin. And I keep saying, it's not a big deal, but if you're mad and you're really frustrated about this and you don't think a deal is going to get done, I don't blame you. I'm not necessarily sharing that view with you, but I don't blame you because, you keep getting told, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. But it keeps getting week after week after week and nothing's happening. And then you hear last week that, Terry said they haven't had contact in 6 weeks, and, you get frustrated. It got 69 likes on the stream right now. Now we got 70. Let's get to 85 by 440. 85 by 440. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the rest of your work day or getting off work. Paying $1 million is nothing to the disruption it causes. I mean, Jacob, I agree. The biggest thing is the team chemistry, and that's on Terry for missing it. I get why he's doing it. But I think at the end of the day, you should be there for your teammates and to get into. I mean, he's going to be in football shape, but it's more about the new guys on the team and getting chemistry with those guys instead of getting in football shape. He's going to be in football shape. He's been on this team for a minute. I mean, he's been here since 2019, so 6 years, and he's been our best player for 6 years. Now it's Jaden Daniels, but Terry's been that guy, and he deserves to get paid. I think we all agree on that. I mean, I guess some people don't. Elements for Nature says trade Terry. No, please don't trade Terry. I don't think you're going to get necessarily the value that you want for Terry, and definitely not the value he brings to this franchise and to this team. So we're not at that point yet. In 2 weeks or a week, maybe that happens. Maybe Terry requests a trade. Not that he gets traded, but he requests a trade. I could see that for sure. But in terms of right now, we're not at that point yet. That's like the next step though. That's the next step because right now you're at the step of all right, missing training camp and you're holding out. If that does nothing to their negotiations, the next step is requesting a trade. I don't see Terry getting there, but I didn't see him getting to this point either. So we will see. David says Terry going to cause some bad energy with coming back. My guy Daniel says we can't lose Terry. Dude, same man, same. And got his jersey and met him at training camp once. Super super nice guy. And yeah, it would suck if we lost Terry McLaurin. You know, I would genuinely be super upset, and I think a lot of fans would. And that's why every comment on every post is pay Terry McLaurin, and I think that's going to continue to happen until they don't pay Terry. And I think it'll get done, but I've said that for a while now, and it hasn't gotten done. So if you're frustrated about it, I get it. I really do get it, and we're just gonna have to wait and see. And no trade talks though. No trade talks, at least for now. Let's see. Thoughts on Von Miller? Eli says, I think it's a good move. Would have rather probably sign someone like Jadeveon Clowney or Zadarius Smith. Combine their names. One of those two, I think that would have been better. But I do like Von Miller, and maybe for what they were looking for, Von Miller might have been better. A guy that can come in on pass rushing situation or on obvious passing situations and just rush the quarterback and get a sack or two, and especially in the fourth quarter where he is super super good, and that's where the Bills used him a lot. Keep him a few snaps here and there during the first half, but then in the third, fourth quarter, really turn it up for him because keep him fresh and just let him dominate. So that's what they're hoping for, and we'll see what happens. I'm just waiting for more news. We will see. Uptown Dre, my guy, I've been watching for a while. Appreciate you pulling up. Says, yo, my brother and Terry will sign him in minutes. I don't know about minutes, but hopefully soon. Biggie Steve says players may rethink playing for us if the organization is going to lowball them. I mean, that's definitely possible. I just think the biggest thing is, Terry has shown and done everything possible and shown why he is worth, getting paid. And for them not to, yeah, maybe that doesn't show, a good example. It's just like it doesn't, set a good precedent. You're like, all right, Terry did everything possible and he didn't get extended. How the heck am I going to get extended if he didn't? After doing all that good stuff, all of everything possible Terry's done, like really counting, looking back at it, like he really hasn't made a lot of mistakes. Maybe now you can say he could have handled this all better, but I do understand his frustration. You can't blame him for, being frustrated about not getting paid. Let's see. Players. Okay, we talked about that. So any other questions you guys have, put them in the chat. 115 people in here. Hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff on the road to 16K. Training camp is tomorrow, so we'll hear more and more about stuff tomorrow. I'm sure they're going to be asked about Terry, and that's the biggest thing. It's a distraction, and it keeps piling on, and it's going to be talked about, and the chemistry is going to be worse because they're not practicing together every day, and there's new teammates, and they need to get all those things squared away. And right now, that's not happening. Do I watch baseball a little bit? I'm a big Nats fan. I don't watch every game, but I keep up with every game on Twitter and stuff. But besides that, not super big MLB fan. So let's see if we got any more news here. I'm just gonna keep that graphic up for you, but I'm keeping up on my phone here on Twitter, seeing if there's any other things that are happening around the NFL. But yeah, tomorrow we will hear about the injury news. So Sam Cosmi, I'm excited for that. Maybe today, we'll see if he's on the PUP list, but we're gonna hear about that and stuff like that. Let's see. I got a feeling we'll build a stadium in Via Maryland, not DC. Josh Harris getting impatient. I could see he's definitely getting impatient. Even if he doesn't necessarily show it, he's getting impatient. He's getting impatient. Non-Terry question. Big T says we don't need to trade Terry. Time doesn't mean anything. Look at Wagner. I mean, yeah, Wagner has been a beast, and he's still, he's older. We got other guys that are older. Zach Ertz has been balling out. Uh, we don't need. Let's see. You got to offer the man 30 to 31. He's the best receiver we got and one of the best in the NFL. I agree. Give him 30, 31. He's going to take that. I mean, that's life changing money. He just doesn't want to be disrespected and take a discount. How do you think Coleman will work out at guard? I think Coleman's going to be good. That's another guy I forgot. New position for him, and that's that, again, you would like to have your full offense there for installing everything. So, but I like Coleman. I liked him at tackle. He was fine at tackle, but he's going to be better at guard, I believe. Doug says you like Trey Johnson. Yeah, I love the Trey Johnson pick. He's balled out in summer league, second most points per game for a Wizards player ever. He was good, and I'm excited. Who starts at right guard with Sam Cosmi continues to recover from his injury. So left tackle, you got obviously Laramie Tunsil. Center, you got Biotish. Right tackle, you got Josh Connerly. Those spots are pretty locked in. And then left guard, you can go ahead and put Brandon Coleman out there. And if Sam Cosmi's not there, for right guard. Think you could see Andrew Wiley play right guard, or you could possibly see Nate Herbig from the Steelers, Eagles, all that. You could see him playing there as well. A bunch of different options, and we're just gonna have to wait and see. But I think this offensive line is gonna be good this year. Maybe it'll start a little bit slow because of the chemistry. They do have a lot of new faces, but this offensive line, I'm really excited about, especially if Josh Connerly is that guy. Terry's only hurting himself doing this. They can play hardball and screw him for the next 2 years. Just show up and play, pay Terry. I mean, yeah, but they can screw themselves too. I mean, not having Terry, your best receiver, your second best offensive player. I mean, you're not winning the Super Bowl without Terry McLaurin. I'm sorry, you're not. I miss when the Wizards had John Wall and Bradley Beal. Bro, me too. John Wall, probably my favorite Wizard. Liked Nene too. But yeah, it is what it is. Wizards are, they're rebuilding, but still don't have a star player. Any other questions? Go ahead and comment down below. Thoughts on Debo Samuel? I'm excited. I think he's going to be motivated. Made a video about him yesterday. Go ahead and check it out. Just like a 10, 12-minute video talking about Debo, his weight update, stuff from his trainer, stuff like that. Yeah, if Terry's not there, hey, more opportunities for Jalen Lane, Luke McCaffrey, and some of the other young bucks. Ja'Cory Brooks, and I'm trying to think about other guys, but some more opportunities for those guys. And Jalen Lane, maybe he's working with the first team and he's making plays, and maybe Terry being out is the reason why Jalen Lane gets a little bit more developed early on. Definitely, something to think about for sure. Definitely something to think about for sure. And yeah, we're gonna have to keep that in mind and see which of the young receivers start stepping up while Terry McLaurin is out, because someone's gonna have to. I think at the end of the day, though, Terry McLaurin's gonna be here. Terry McLaurin's gonna be here. We got 100 people in here. Do all that good stuff. I keep saying it, but I want to see that like button hit 100. So we got 80 right now. I know some of you guys haven't liked. I mean, for sure, we got 110 people in your 80 likes. And comment down below whatever you want. It helps out the algorithm as well. But tomorrow morning is practice. Likely be early. I'll make a video about that, and then recapping that. Might post another video as well. And then also, we'll be at training camp on the 29th. So a week from today, I will be in Ashburn at training camp. So if you do have any specific questions for me about training camp that day, or like guys you want to see, or guys you want to hear about, comment down below or just DM me or whatever. Let's see. We can always sign a vet receiver. I mean, there's just not a lot of good vet receivers out right now. Do they re-sign Brandon Sheriff back? No. I mean, that's an option, but Brandon Sheriff has not been re-signed by the Washington Commanders. Losing Terry doesn't mean the world is ending for the team. It doesn't mean the world's ending, but it also lowers their ceiling. I mean, Terry's their best skill position player, and besides, he in terms of offensive weapons, Terry's that guy, and Jaden's the best offensive player. But besides that, is Terry McLaurin, and you want that guy on your team. You want that guy on your team, and yeah, we're gonna see what happens. But that is it for today's stream. Really appreciate all y'all for pulling up. Over 100 people. Real quick, Uptown Dre. Appreciate the $5 donation. Says keep prospering your infinite intel. Big time salute, Slim. Appreciate that, man. Uptown Dre been or not. He's been watching the channel for a long time, so really really appreciate it. FSU fan, I believe, and also always see you on all the other YouTubers as well. So appreciate that, Todd. Mike, well, we'll stay a little longer, man. We'll stay a little longer. I'm seeing a lot of people that I appreciate. So Todd says, "Hey Pedro, how you doing? I'm glad you're feeling better. Appreciate that. I wish Terry wasn't looking or wasn't holding out. This is a major. Why is it such a difficult situation between Peters and Terry?" I agree. I think Peters is being a little bit difficult and wants to get a good bargain. I get that. I also get why Terry is. I get why Terry is frustrated too because he wants that money. Yeah, it is what it is. Vance, appreciate that. And again, Uptown Dre, appreciate the donation. It helps out a lot, man. Try to put some money back in the channel as much as possible, just upgrading stuff. So if you guys see anything you guys think I need to upgrade, comment down below. I'm trying to get at home, it's a little bit difficult because of the setup, but back at school, I'm trying to get a good setup going for the background. So if you guys have any suggestions, I have a bunch of jerseys, have some bobbleheads, have some posters in terms of what should go in the back. Comment that down below. I'm trying to put some jerseys out there. I got a old Clint Portis jersey, got a Terry jersey, got a Jaden jersey. Can always rotate which one's back there and which one I want to wear because it's good to have a good background. And right now, here I don't have a lot, and back at Tech I do have a little bit, but let's see. Cannot move the defense back unless you have a Terry speedster to make that happen. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. My guy Daniel here. Make sure you guys check him out. But it says, "Do you have a Carson Wentz jersey?" I do not. I'm very thankful I do not have a Carson Wentz jersey. I have a lot of not so good jerseys. Have a lot of not so good jerseys, but Carson Wentz, thank God, I do not have a Carson Wentz jersey because that would have been miserable. And I feel bad for you if you do have a Carson Wentz jersey. I have a DJ Swearinger jersey that I barely got to wear before he got released. I have a Kirk Cousins jersey. I have a Chase Young jersey. I had let's see, a Sam Howell jersey that I had to give away that was autographed. And then what else? A Jahan Dotson jersey also gave that away. That was autographed for, channel giveaway. So, just I'm sure a lot of you guys also don't have good jerseys. That's why I'm hesitant to buy them. But I do have a Jaden jersey. Bought my dad a Frankie Louvu jersey for his birthday. So I'm thinking about my next jersey purchase. Probably going to be Mikey Sanders still. Also love Jalen Lane, but obviously going to have to wait and see how he plays. But there's some options out there. Oh yeah, Vance, thank you for mentioning this. Do want to talk about this. It's not a major thing, but Michael Wiley, is he the one out of USC or is that someone else? I think that's someone else. But Michael Wiley, he was released today. Where did he play? He played for BYU. There was one running back last offseason from USC, I thought, UDFA. But do you think Michael Wiley getting cut helps Bill make the team? Not really. I think Bill's almost a lock to make the team. I think he's almost a lock. Do we need more defensive ends? At this point, I don't think so. I don't think so. Long term, for sure. For sure. Gregory says, do we need sorry, I just read that. Luvu's my next. Yeah, Luvu, I mean, dude, that dude's a monster. That's a good jersey to have. Appreciate you pulling up, Caps. Uptown Dre says, I have number 21, 17, 47, 28, 72, and 65. I do have, I thought you said 26, but I do have a Clint Portis jersey. I'll go ahead into my jersey collection in a second. but we'll talk about some more stuff here. Any questions you guys have, Terry stuff. I wish we had gotten Clowney said, but Vaughn is a good Fowler replacement. I agree, and I think Vaughn can be more efficient than Fowler. Eli says, "You have any Wizards jersey?" I got a Beal and a Wall jersey. I think a lot of Wizards fans got the same jerseys, but um, those are the ones I have. But yeah, tomorrow, if you guys are focusing on the Twitter stuff and any Commanders camp stuff, just watch out for, I think second year players the most. I'll make videos about that. And then just obviously the Terry McLaurin situation, how that all unfolds. And, what the media says, what Dan Quinn says, and then maybe what some of the teammates say. I don't think the teammates are going to say anything besides probably supporting their guy, but you never know. You never know. Let's see. I was looking at my next year's draft picks. We don't got many. We don't have a lot, and that's why we didn't trade for someone like Trey Hendrickson. But my jerseys, I got RG3, Kirk Cousins, Ryan Kerrigan, Chase Young, Terry McLaurin, Dotson, and then Jaden Daniels. I know I'm missing one. Clinton Portis. I know I'm missing at least one. I said DJ Swearinger, one not so good one in there, but I got like 10-ish jerseys, 10-ish Commanders jerseys. And yeah, I think Mike Sanderson is probably going to be my next jersey. And that's what Dusty said. So, uh, yeah, we'll see. And zero is nice. My guy Dub's family appreciates you for pulling up. OG been watching my channel for, I don't know, man, 5 years. Vance, I do have a Sean Taylor, maybe not a jersey, but it's a jersey. It's a it's a sweater jersey, and it's really sick. It's probably my favorite Redskins item I own. It's like a hockey jersey in a hoodie. I can maybe pull it up in a second, but that's honestly that's my favorite item I have. It's just a little big on me. Bobby Wagner wouldn't be a bad jersey too. Vaughn, yeah, Vaughn's wearing number 24. Vaughn's wearing number 24, which looks a little weird. It's gonna look like a chunkier, or maybe not chunk, but it's a bigger uh, Champ Bailey out there. We low on next year draft picks too. Yeah, we are. Not. I'm trying to think. It was just our second round pick, I believe, that we're missing. But yeah, definitely not abundant with draft picks. So if they can find a way, I'm not saying trade Terry, but maybe trade a couple other guys that maybe you're going to cut anyways, or it's a 50-50, and you could get like a sixth, seventh round picks. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it definitely adds up. Yeah, picking at 32 is going to be tough next year, Steven says. And hey, I would love picking at 32. Nothing more in the world that I rather the Commanders do than pick at 32. But I think we're going to wrap it up here. Appreciate all y'all for pulling up. 86 people. Hit that like button, all that good stuff. And peace. Have a good day, guys.